What's up? Hey, today we're talking mind-blowing beginner fitness myths. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a beginner. I'm a strong, independent, advanced woman. I buy my own diamonds and I buy my own rings. Yes, but we all have to restart at some point. Life changes, circumstances change, stuff changes, and that's all right. So whether you were just starting your fitness journey or you're getting back on track after some time off, this is the video for you. Before we get into it, I want to remind you that the Made to Move It challenge is starting on June 1st. This is a 100% free challenge designed to make movement a lifestyle that lasts. So if you want to get in on that, it's going to include weekly workout calendars, daily workouts, new 20-minute hit it, dance, and more workouts, cooking and recipe roundup videos, and lots of love from myself and the rest of this community. So if you'd like to get in on that, I'm going to put a link in the description box down below with all the details, all the info. I'd love for you to join us. Otherwise, if you're excited for today's video, make sure to shoot me a thumbs up and let's get into it. You need to train every day. No, the fitness industry has this idea that if some is good, then more is better. So we should just keep doing more and more and more and more till we're working out all the time, like Team No Days Off. Not quite, but I think it's important to understand the difference between training and staying active. Training describes working out in a specific way for a specific goal. Your body adapts in response to stress, and so the idea is that by exposing your body to a specific stress, it will adapt in a specific way. However, we can't just keep stressing your body to infinity. The best way to explain why is with the fitness fatigue model, which explains your body's response to different training stressors. You start at baseline, which represents your general fitness level. Then after a bout of training, there's competing effects between fitness and fatigue. The interaction between the two results in your performance. Oftentimes after a challenging bout of training, you'll feel sore, tired, or worn out, but if you give yourself enough time to recover, you'll get to a point where you feel even better than when you started. The key is to push when you need to, back off to recover, then continue to challenge yourself session after session so you can keep raising your fitness level. This is where there's a disconnect though, because while this might be what's optimal for performance, there's no consideration of lifestyle. And you can't take advantage of the fitness fatigue model, of any of this science, until you make exercise a habit. So this is why instead of focusing on just the train, rest cycle, I instead focus on staying active and scaling my activity to my needs. On training days, I am pushing my body. On staying active days, I am exploring new ways of moving my body, right? I'm not pushing too hard. I'm not aiming for any specific number of sets and reps or anything like that. I'm just moving my body and staying active and having fun. This will help maintain your metabolism long term, as well as circulate blood flow to those recovering muscle tissues on your days off. If you eat like so-and-so, you will look like so-and-so. No. Generally no. And I know that this is so frustrating. I've had to beat this into myself with a stick, metaphorically, of course. But it seems like sometimes social media is full of metabolic unicorns, people who can eat all this food and stay shredded, stay lean year-round. It looks like they're not even putting any effort into it. And it's like, what? This is not my reality. And to be honest, that's not the reality for a lot of these people you see online either. Social media is a snapshot. When you watch a What I Eat in a Day video, you are watching somebody in isolation. You are not seeing their lifestyle as a whole. And this is not a knock on anybody, but it is very, very hard to condense into 10 to 15 minutes every aspect of your life over the course of a single day. The only way that you might be able to get an accurate read on somebody's diet and why it works for them would be if you had a 24-hour live stream of this person. That is just plain creepy at that point. While there are differences in metabolism from person to person, the energy balance equation still applies. Nobody is free from the energy balance equation. If you consume more than you burn, you gain weight. If you consume less than you burn, you lose weight. And these differences in metabolism are not as significant as you may think. BMR, so the amount of calories you burn sitting, breathing, existing, accounts for about 60% of daily energy expenditure in the healthy but sedentary general population. This has been shown to vary 7 to 9% between people of similar age, BMI, and gender. Thermic effect of food, so calories burned breaking down and digesting food, accounts for 8 to 15% of energy expenditure, depending on your diet and the types of foods you eat. Thermic effect of activity, calories burned through structured activity, accounts for 15 to 30% of energy expenditure if you regularly work out. While non-exercise activity thermogenesis, so calories burned through spontaneous activity, accounts for 6 to 10% of energy expenditure in the healthy but sedentary population, so most of us. but can go up to 50% or more in highly active subjects. The only genetic or magic factors here are those variances in BMR, and at that, they're not that big. They're not as big as we probably make them out to be in our head. The rest is lifestyle, which is impossible to capture in a single social media post, and I'd argue is even hard to capture in a complete feed of social media posts. So my advice is to use what you see online as a starting point. Use it as inspiration, right? You need somewhere to start, okay, but don't focus so much on the specifics. Don't get hung up on how much someone else is eating. Look for patterns. Does this person have habits? Are those habits serving them or stopping them from reaching their goals? Because at the end of the day, you don't live in their body, you live in your body, all right? So you gotta find what works for you, mentally, physically, emotionally, just in general for the rest of your lifestyle. You need to feel sore after every workout. Lies. This is straight up not correct. Soreness is an indicator of muscle damage, and muscle damage is most often caused by trying a new workout, trying a new type of movement, or training beyond your current fitness level. Now, the belief that you need to break your muscles down in order to build them back up probably came from early research on exercise-induced muscle damage, where they observed that muscle protein synthesis increased after damaging exercise. However, a 2016 study challenged this when they investigated the relationship between muscle protein synthesis and muscle growth over a 10-week period in untrained men. To be clear, muscle protein synthesis is part of the process required to build muscle, but is not the same as muscle growth. Muscle growth can only occur when protein synthesis is greater than protein breakdown, and as you can imagine, muscle damage increases breakdown. They found that muscle damage and perceived soreness were greatest following the first session, while strength recovery was slowest. This is in line with what we know about the fitness fatigue model, where more stress, in this case muscle damage, leads to a longer recovery time. They also found that muscle protein synthesis was greatest following the first training session. However, when corrected for muscle damage, protein synthesis was no different between weeks 1, 3, or 10. Muscle growth steadily increased across the study. However, muscle growth had no relationship with any marker of muscle damage at any point. What this suggests is that while muscle damage increases muscle protein synthesis, muscle repair and muscle growth are two separate processes. So intentionally training to damage your muscles to get sore after your workout is not necessarily going to lead to faster results. Especially if you're a beginner, this may only slow your recovery, make your next session miserable, and keep you from bringing your best. So my advice is, instead of focusing on how you feel after your workout, focus on how you are feeling during your workout. Focus on bringing the intensity to each exercise, whether this means lifting more weight, moving with more control, moving through a greater range of motion, moving with more power, whatever that means for you. Bring the intensity to the exercises, as this is more likely to benefit you long term. You need to plan every meal, track every workout, get laser focused on your goals. Kinda not really. I understand the fail to plan to fail mentality. However, there is a difference between being aware of your actions and being obsessed with your actions. When you are first getting started with fitness, there are so many decisions to make. It can feel like you were just making decision after decision, like planning every single aspect of your day. Like, what am I eating? What am I eating? Am I meal prepping? Am I not meal prepping? Am I ordering food? Am I doing carbs? Am I doing keto? Am I doing, like, what the heck am I doing? So by the end of the day, you've already made so many decisions. You're already so overwhelmed and so mentally exhausted that it feels easier to just say, screw it, I'm gonna eat the pantry. You know, I said today, I'm not gonna eat the pantry. Today, I'm gonna eat the pantry. Turns out there is a scientific explanation for this. A 2011 study examined over 1,000 court rulings over a 10-month period. Now, you'd hope the judge's decision would be influenced by type of crime, laws broken, other factors in the case. However, researchers found otherwise. There was a clear relationship between time of day and favorable ruling. At the beginning of the day, the judge gave a favorable ruling about 65% of the time. However, as the day went on, this rate decreased, and interestingly, favorable rulings increased following food breaks. Researchers refer to this as decision fatigue. So in the case of the judge, at the end of the day, when they'd already made so many difficult decisions, it was easier to just say no and avoid the mental energy required to figure out what the correct answer was. In the case of trying to stay on track with fitness, at the end of the day, you're so exhausted making decisions about what to eat, how to move your body, when to move your body, that it's easier to just shut off and go back to your old ways. Logically, does any of this make sense? No. Logically, is this aligned with any of our goals or maybe our perception of what is right? No. However, this is how our brains work, and this is why willpower fails. What I found helpful is to reduce the number of decisions I need to make in the day. So when it comes to fitness, what I will do is I will outline those key points in the day, those key decisions that I often find myself struggling with. So if it's food for you, could just write out like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. And I would give myself 2 options for each of those. But basically, I take it from being what feels like a million options for a million different scenarios I run into throughout the day. I set a certain number of things I'm going to commit to, and I give myself 2 options for each. So that way I've pre-committed to getting these things done, to nailing at least those parts of the day. It's not a matter of if I do it or not. It's a matter of I'm doing this or I'm doing that. It is getting done either way, and I still have some say in the matter, but I'm not stressed out over it now. You need to do it all alone. No. When I first started my fitness journey, I felt like everyone was against me. My family, my friends, my boyfriend, because it was always just another bite, just another drink, just stay for another hour. You won't miss the gym's still open. More recently, I struggled with this when I was trying to lose those 20 pounds a couple of years ago. I spent over a year stuck, feeling like I was working so hard for so little results. And I hate to say it, but it drove a wedge between me and Jeff, my best friend, my partner, the person in the world who probably cares most about me and who I care most about. It drove a wedge between us because we had just moved in together, and it very quickly became very clear that we had very different attitudes towards food. He could have whatever in the house, eat whatever in moderation, be completely unbothered by it, whereas I was obviously having a very difficult time with food. And so him bringing something very normal home, he didn't even bring like a lot of junk, but something very normal like peanut butter, I would take as a personal attack. What I came to realize is that the people in your life can be your greatest help or your greatest hindrance. The difference is you. If you believe you're going to fail, if you believe that because there is peanut butter in the house, you are going to eat the entire jar of peanut butter and blow your diet, you are going to be looking at every experience through that lens, and you are going to find a way to prove yourself right, because that is the belief you know. So it doesn't matter how much somebody else cares about you, how much they want to help you, or whatever they say to you. It doesn't matter, because you have your mind made up. Before anybody else can support you, you need to support you. The people you think are trying to sabotage you probably love you, but from their standpoint, this dieting, this working out, this whatever you're doing to try to reach your goals, they think it's making you miserable, when in reality, it's this belief that no matter what you try, you're going to fail is sucking the life out of you. So maybe they order a pizza, maybe they get a pint of ice cream, maybe they bring home your favorite snack when you're on your period, right? There's so many times that they do these nice, thoughtful things because from their standpoint, they think you're unhappy, they're trying to make you happy, and the only time that they have seen you happy is when you are falling back into your old ways. Sure, you might not be happy long term, but at least there's that little release. You're not going to change your beliefs overnight. You're not going to wake up a different person. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately, but one of the best ways to start reprogramming your brain and reprogramming the way that you think about yourself and the way that you think about your fitness journey is to start showing up for yourself. Start supporting yourself before other people can support you. When you start showing up for yourself, it will transform your relationships, it will transform your body, it'll transform your mind, it will transform every single aspect of your life. All right, but it starts with you. And one of the best, easiest, most simple ways to start showing up for yourself is to start making movement a habit, to honor your body with activity every day. This is why I wanted to do the Made to Move It challenge. This is why I wanted to make it free. This is why this is so important to me, right? The Made to Move It challenge is starting on June 1st. It is all about making movement a habit that lasts. It is not about driving yourself into the ground. It is not about doing crazy workouts and just burning out. It is about moving your body and realizing all that your body is capable of. This is one of the best ways to start if you have been struggling to get started. There are going to be weekly workout calendars, daily workouts, more 20-minute hit it, dance workouts, lots of new stuff to try, cooking and recipe roundup videos, and lots of love and support from myself and the rest of our community. I want this for you. Okay, but I cannot make this decision for you. You have got to show up for you. I'm going to put that sign up link in the description box down below. It's 100% free. Let's do this, okay? Otherwise, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to shoot me a thumbs up. I hope to see you in that challenge.